Hello, my name is Andrew Sims, and I've written a book called Tescopoly, How One Shop Came Out on Top and Why That Matters. The reason I wrote it is because I saw something happening in our local communities, in our towns and cities, which we've seen before happening in nature. There are things called invasive species. They're things like the Nile perch or the cane toad or Japanese knotweed. Things which were introduced at one time because people thought they were a good idea. They had pretty flowers, they were going to be a productive crop, or they ate pests. But then quietly, when you weren't looking, they got out of control and they started to take over and suffocate the local ecosystems. I see a similar thing happening in the local economy. I see chain stores, clone stores and the big supermarkets taking over, and in the process they're snuffing out the life of local economies and local communities. One of the ways in which they do that is by acting like giant economic vacuum cleaners, sucking consumer spending out to pay remote shareholders who don't have a direct concern about the local economy. And in the process, what happens? Your high streets get homogenized. We turn into clone towns. The fabric of community begins to erode. We dissolve the social glue that holds communities together. Places become identical, boring. And we think there's a better way. We think that you need to garden in the economy in the way that you would in your back garden to prevent Japanese knotweed taking over completely. We think diversity is a good thing. We think people should have the choice to shop in their local street market, which very often are much cheaper than the big supermarkets for buying fruit and veg. We think that a vibrant and diverse, locally owned and independent retail system underpins the local economy. And if you want that, you need to do two things. First of all, you've got to vote with your feet. You've got to support local businesses. But we've also got to lobby government and local authorities who sometimes have become too close to the big businesses, haven't seen the benefits, the extra economic, environmental and social benefits of local businesses. We need to lobby them to get the checks and balances in place to stop the huge chain retailers like Tesco's taking over and ending up in a situation where we'll be asking a question a little bit like Henry Ford a few decades ago, that you can shop anywhere you like as long as it's Tesco.